Outside a police station, Jessica is sitting in her patrol car talking to her mother on the phone. Her mother is worried because she has become a police officer just like her father, who died in the line of duty. Not wanting to talk about it on her first day of work, Jessica ends the conversation and enters the station with some hesitation. It seems like no one is there, so she goes in to investigate. She hears noises and sees a man in the distance cursing. Jessica speaks to him, but he tells her to turn around and stop. When he finally approaches her, he introduces himself as Sergeant Cohen. He explains that this is not the new station, but the old one. She was the lucky rookie assigned to work the last shift there. Cohen explains that all calls have already been diverted to the new station. It is possible that some people might show up in person, and she should redirect them. In case of an emergency, she must call Central Dispatch. Cohen shows her the kitchen but warns her not to enter the holding cells. Jessica asks why she is there instead of a security guard, to which he responds that her presence is necessary to guard the evidence, as a hazmat team will come during the night to dispose of it. He orders her not to leave the premises and tells her he will relieve her when her shift ends. Later, Jessica is reading a book and almost falls asleep. Suddenly, she notices something strange with one of the hallway lights. The phone rings, and she receives a distress call from a woman who says she is trapped and that everyone with her might be dead. When Jessica asks for the address, the woman hangs up. Jessica immediately calls the news station. Since she didn't get the necessary information from the caller, they simply tell her they will verify the call and check if the line diversion is working correctly. Jessica hears something in the cells and walks over to check, thinking it might be Cohen. She reaches the place where the banging is coming from but finds nothing. Later, while having lunch in the kitchen, she finds a long lock of hair inside her sandwich. Suddenly, there is a knock at the front door, but when she goes to check, no one is outside. Upon turning around, she discovers someone is inside the station. Jessica orders him to leave and sees the man is urinating on the floor. She pulls out her baton and tries to communicate with him, but getting no response, she chases him out. Jessica cleans the station and then goes to the bathroom to wash her hands. She hears strange noises in the pipes and sees a pair of boots. She leaves them outside for the homeless man. Upon returning, she hears another noise. She finds one of the bathrooms completely trashed and then moves to the station gym and the locker room. One of the lockers has a key in it. When she opens it, she finds a photograph of herself and her father. She closes the locker and sees all the others have opened by themselves. Suddenly, another call rings. It is the same woman pleading for help. Jessica manages to get her name, and the woman tells her she has been taken to a ranch, after which she hangs up again. Instantly, another call comes in, but this time it is the waste disposal company. The man tells her they will be arriving a bit late. Jessica calls the new station again to report the second call. They tell her the girl is not calling 911, but the station directly, and if she calls again, Jessica must tell her to dial 911. Jessica continues reading the manual, waiting for another call when suddenly, a stretcher behind her begins to move. She checks it but finds nothing wrong. As soon as she sits down, the stretcher unrolls again and crashes into the others. Jessica hears another noise in the back and follows it. She sees that one of the doors has been opened and hears more noises inside, so she reports it over the radio before investigating. The only thing she receives back from Central is a song. Another noise sounds, and an alarm is triggered in the station. Reciting lines from the manual to calm herself, Jessica approaches the noise. She enters a trashed room, and as a box nearly falls on her, she sees the homeless man has entered the building. He is looking for something without paying attention to her, so she moves in to catch him. She incapacitates and arrests him. Jessica takes him to the cells, but he resists, so she drags him inside. The doors slam shut, and screams are heard outside. The man attacks her, and she stuns him with her taser. Jessica realizes she is locked in the cell and calls for someone to open the door. A strange face appears in the window, frightening her so much that she drops her flashlight. Suddenly, the homeless man has the flashlight and points it at her. She reminds him she is armed, but the flashlight illuminates a corner to reveal that the homeless man is still unconscious on the floor. Jessica asks who else is there. A girl's voice is heard. Jessica bangs on the door again, and the voice asks if she wants to get out of there alive. Jessica asks for her flashlight. Everything goes dark again, and two figures are seen by her side. The lights return, and the cell door is open. She steps out, locks the prisoner in, and tries to calm down. Later, Jessica calls Cohen and, since he doesn't answer, leaves him a message without telling him what happened. She leans back to try to relax but sees the word SOW carved into the ceiling. Checking the station doors, she sees a woman outside and tells her to leave. The woman, Marigold, asks to finish her cigarette there because she feels safer, and Jessica allows it. Before entering, Marigold says she can tell Jessica is a rookie. She tells her that she was in a cell next to the Paimon killers, who committed suicide in the station after kidnapping and massacring several girls. Jessica knows the case because her father died at the crime scene and knows the criminals died there too. Marigold insists they brought them to the station alive and that she could hear them singing a strange song in the next cell before they hang themselves with their sheets. Marigold finishes her cigarette and leaves Jessica speechless. Patrolling the station, Jessica finds a television on showing a police interview with the Paimon brother who committed the crimes. 2 other televisions turn on showing interviews with the Paimon sisters. In a flashback, John Paimon is seen talking about the devil. John makes an absurd threat in the recording, as if speaking directly to Jessica. Suddenly, one of the chairs moves toward her, and for a moment it looks like someone is sitting in it. The chair continues moving until it knocks Jessica down. The phone rings. It is the same girl saying the other young women have been murdered. Those responsible are still singing the same song Marigold mentioned. Jessica tries to get the girl to call 911, but she says she can't, so Jessica tells her to run and hide. Before the call ends, Jessica asks if she has heard the name John Paimon, and she confirms she has. Jessica starts to connect the dots, calls the news station, and transmits the details. The officer on the other end laughs and tells her that all the members of the Paimon family are under constant police custody. He gives her a police report number and hangs up. Suddenly, Jessica hears whistling. Upon checking a room with office chairs, she is distracted by another noise. When she looks back, the chairs have been completely rearranged. Jessica, fed up, thinks the other officers are playing a prank on her for being a rookie. Suddenly, the doorbell rings and an officer is there. She asks if he or someone else is playing a joke on her, but he seems not to know what she is talking about. He introduces himself as Price and says he only came to check on her. They go inside and chat. She tells him about the homeless man. Price laughs and tells her anecdotes from his career. Then, he confesses he came to see her because he knew her father. He relates what happened that night. They arrived early at the scene, heard the girls pleading, and went in without backup. Her father held off the Paimons while he got some of the girls out. Price says her father was a good cop and would be proud of her. When Price turns around, Jessica sees a massive hole in the back of his head, and as he passes in front of the outside window, he vanishes. Suddenly, Jessica hears voices surrounding her. She sees a body moving through the hallway. It begins to levitate and move unnaturally. Jessica hides, pulls her weapon, and when she comes out, the man has vanished. She hears the homeless man screaming in his cell, begging to be let out and pointing to 3 ghosts in his cell. Jessica repeats that it's not real. The man cries and begs her not to leave him there. She hears the song again and finds a group of girls sitting in a circle singing. The ghost girls turn toward her with bloody sheets over their faces, though their reflections in the glass look normal. The door closes and they disappear. Jessica hears another loud noise in the evidence room and finds it trashed, with men's clothing placed in the center. Terrified, she calls Cohen and tells him she is seeing things and doesn't think she can finish the shift. Cohen belittles her, calling her a coward and ordering her to stay until the end. Jessica tries to call the waste disposal company, and upon not receiving an exact time, she decides to wait for them outside in her patrol car. However, the phone rings inside and she returns. It's the girl again saying she escaped. Jessica keeps her on the line while trying to call emergency services from her cell phone. The girl says she knows she is going to die. The communication cuts off. Jessica calls the news station and gives the report number she was given before. The same officer tells her that the girl who has been calling is dead. She was the last Paimon victim, beaten to death with a bat. He suggests that perhaps other members of the cult are playing a sick joke or that they are ghosts, confirming that the Paimons committed suicide in that station and that strange things have happened ever since. A photo falls behind Jessica. It's a post-mortem photo of her father. She finds more photos on the floor from the crime scene and one of Price. Jessica closes her eyes hoping everything will disappear, But when she opens them, the photos are neatly arranged. She hears screams in her mind while seeing the mugshots of the Paimon family. Suddenly, the photos catch fire. Jessica wakes up on the hallway floor to the ringing of her phone. It's her mother apologizing for mentioning her father. Jessica notices that her gun has disappeared. She sees someone in the hallway and, upon following them, is knocked unconscious. She wakes up in an interrogation room with a woman who says she would do anything for John Paimon and is celebrating the anniversary of his death. The woman commits suicide using Jessica's gun. The phone rings again. It's the same girl. When Jessica tells her she is dead, the girl laughs and the sound of the bat hitting her is heard through the receiver. Jessica sees the ghost of the girl under her desk. The apparition pursues her and Jessica runs to the door, but she cannot open it or shoot her way out. Her phone rings. It's her father. He tells her she has his same determination, but asks why she is trying to leave if he gave his life for the job. He tells her the man who killed him is still in the building and that she must do something. The homeless man suddenly passes her. Jessica tries to handcuff him, but he turns into an apparition. Upon checking his cell, she finds him dead with the words, "King of Hell," written on the wall. Jessica tries to call for help over the radio, but there is only static, screams, and the song. Blood comes out of the radio and a ghost appears. She sees a projection of the Paimons performing a ritual and committing suicide. John turns toward her. The ghosts surround her. Price appears and shoots himself. John almost catches her, but she finds the photo of her father and recites the police code of ethics. Her father calls her again and tells her that they are coming and that she must stop them at all costs. Men in hoods appear and she fires at them. Jessica pursues them to the evidence room. She shoots several and kills one who was talking about the devil. Suddenly, Jessica is shot. Cohen appears behind her with his gun raised. Looking closely, Jessica realizes that the man she killed was actually an employee from the waste disposal company. A flashback shows the reality. Jessica killed the entire cleaning crew that was supposed to collect the evidence. Cohen reports the situation over the radio while Jessica, completely lost in madness, begins to sing the Paimon song. The 3 Paimon ghosts appear and take her away.